Hello everybody out there, this is Seto Kaiba from your Yu-Gi-Oh! Chat channel. And again, I would like to apologize if I'm uploading videos not as frequently due to the fact that I do not have internet at my house. I have to find other means to get these videos uploading. It's not the fact that I can make videos, it's the fact that I'm having trouble uploading the videos. So please forgive me on that, and I apologize. When the summertime comes to an end, around mid-August for me, I will be able to post regular videos once again. But you'll be pretty much getting videos from me like in bulk, like 6 a day for the week. That'll be my weekly video posts. And I apologize for that. But until next, I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you guys know that. Uh, but this deck, what I'm talking about today, is called Fairy Pain. I named this deck, and this deck is a deck that it's an old school deck, but it was a deck I used back in '05, I think, or '06, sometime around then. Uh, it was back when Solemn Judgment was actually at 3 because it had just come out. I think in Judgment of the Light. If I remember, that's the set that it was called. But this deck revolves around counters and fairies and controlling the field. Back then, you weren't so much worried about life points in this format. It was more about game control, about controlling the field, controlling your opponent's hand. Thus why Confiscation was so great. That's why we run 3 Solemn Judgments. Thus why we run all these cards that I'll explain why. It was about controlling the field. It was about making sure your opponent couldn't get his plays off, and you could, and winning from there. So the boss monster of the deck is Volcatorus the Adjacentary. That's the boss monster. You run 2 of that. 2 Cyber Dragons because that was your main beat stick. Soul and the Purity of Light was a very good card. Freed the Brave Wanderer was very good. Bountiful Omtilus, I'm sorry I cannot pronounce these names, but this card pretty much was a draw engine for the deck. It was your main draw engine. Skageki was there for stalling. If you had a first turn, you got this. You place it down, flip it up. They attack, you get a draw. Your turn, you place something else down, and maybe you can get this out, or something like that. Breaker, because Heavy Storm had come back to 1, because they found out that everybody was running traps too much, but MST was still at 1. So Breaker was your other MST, plus it could be used as a monster. It was an MST with legs. DD Warrior Lady was just too good to get rid of those badass monsters that were annoying. Morphing Jaw was so fun to have. It really thinned out the deck, got you better hands. Sangan, like you know, was just a good card back then. It's your searcher, one of your searchers. Shining Angel, really too good. It was one of your other searchers of the deck that could get things out. You could also use it for Volatus' effect. Charity was one of your draw cards. Confiscation took control of your opponent's hand. Mystical Typhoon, destroying cards. Heavy Storm, destroying cards. Snatch and Steal. If this card ever came back, I'd be like, oh, this is fun. But it was just pretty much like a change of heart. Noble Crossout took ability of a lot of your opponents flip down to face cards, because a lot of times back then people ran a lot of flip effect cards, and if they did run them, they usually ran more than one. Solemn Judgment took control of the board. Negate attacks, stopped attacks. Magic Drain kind of was a dual purpose. You could use it to use it as a counter trap feed for this, or you could use it to use your opponent's hand up. So say they did like, oh damn, I don't want him to destroy my Jinzo, or or something like that, or a spell card. They wanted to use like a Dark Hole, they would have to discard another card from their hand, so they would have to waste 2 cards to that, and I would get a bonus from using a counter. So it played into the theory of the deck. The best trap by far, really, after Solemn Judgment was Forced Back. Because Jinzo was really relevant back in the day, this card could deal with it. So if they summon a Jinzo on me, I can use Force Back and get a counter everything, and I could stop a flip effect, a normal summoning, a Jinzo, or stuff like that from coming out. Mirror Force just too good, Torrential too good, and Call to get monsters back, because Monster Reborn at the time was banned, and I think Premature Burial was banned at the time too. I can't remember exactly. I just remember Call the Hunt was only at 1. But let me explain some of the plays of the deck. You have different type of plays you can run with this deck. So this is your boss monster, like I said. Counters in this deck are free. The trapped spell counters in this deck are free. So the main thing you have to worry about is the fairy on the field. But if you had a fairy on the field, you could, to get a 28 beat stick out. It was just so fun. You could do different things with it, yada, etc., etc. But it was not too hard to get out. It with Solemn Judgment, you could negate pretty much anything that would really be annoying or destroy it. Cyber Dragon was your main beat stick. Sword Purity, you know what this does. It was very useful in the deck. Same with Feed the Brave Wanderer. It was very effective in the deck. Like I said before, Artemis is your draw engine. Skageki helps you draw. Breaker is an MST. DD Warrior Lady got rid of those annoying cards. Morphine Jar helped you draw into cards when you were, top deck. You needed a good card. Sangan searched. Shining Angel brought cards out for you. Charity drew. Confiscation took control of the game with your opponent's hand. MST, heavy, you know what that does. The rest is self-explanatory. Solemn Judgment, though, you would think, well, wouldn't you be worried about your life points? No, because life points really in this meta, in this format, were not too big of a problem. It was all about game control, controlling the field. So I just like these old school decks because I'm sorry I've been showing a lot of these lately, but they're just so fun to show the old school decks because I feel that the older decks, there was a lot more skill involved in building the decks. You could use a lot of different cards. It wasn't so much everybody was using archetype decks. Nowadays, Water, Spellbooks, E-Dragons, Ophion, it's all about archetype decks. Back then, that wasn't the case. The most recent archetype decks that weren't archetypes are the Skill Drain Oa Cow Coast decks that I've been hearing about over the last couple months. If you've heard about those, I've heard about those in regional Skill Drain Oa Cow Coast decks. I've also heard about the and Rescue Rabbit too. Those are the last pretty much the only two non-archetype decks that I've been hearing recently. Back in the day, that wasn't so. Pretty much everybody ran Beat Down, stuff like that. It didn't revolve around an archetype. Maybe yes, fairies, machines, dragons, cyber dragons were good back then, but yeah, that type of stuff. But I just wanted to let you know how the game used to be. I like doing these videos because you get to see how the game used to be and how it is now. And until next time, everybody, Seto Kaiba, out.